Why did God give you cancer? Because God allowed it, right? Because God is in control.
Because he chose me.
And why did he choose you?
Because I'm a special boy.
You're a special boy. You are. But you've been through so much pain. Why did God say yes to that?
Because I'm glad that he chose me and not one of like Maddie or Emma.
Why?
Because then they're gonna have to go through this.
And you know what? I wish I was going through it. I wish I had cancer so that you wouldn't have that. But God said no, huh?
Why does God allow certain people to go through difficult, painful experiences? It's a question that has puzzled many believers. Why do some face immense struggles while others seem to live with far less hardship? The truth is, we may never fully understand the depths of God's plans, but we can gain insight into why God allows certain people to face life's toughest challenges, and most importantly, with what purpose. Today's video is inspired by the words of this young boy. Even in his suffering, he recognized that God had chosen him for a reason. Through his experience, we can learn so much about the power of faith, resilience, and the divine purpose behind our trials. Let's explore why God chooses some of us to endure hard things and how we can find purpose in our pain. 1. God chooses us because he sees strength in us. The first lesson we can learn is that God often chooses people to go through difficult things because he knows the strength within them, even when they don't see it themselves. In the interview, the boy with cancer said, "God chose me because I'm a special boy." Those words are incredibly powerful. This child, going through something as painful and frightening as cancer, believed that God had chosen him because he was strong enough to endure it. James 1:2-4 tells us, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." God doesn't allow suffering in our lives because he wants to hurt us. He allows it because he knows that through the trials, we will grow stronger, more resilient, and more faithful. The boy's faith wasn't shaken by his illness. Instead, he embraced it as part of God's plan for him, understanding that God had seen something special in him. Second, God uses our pain to protect others. Another reason why God may choose certain people to go through hardship is to protect others. In the interview, the boy explained why he wasn't mad at God for giving him cancer. He said he was glad that God chose me and not Maddie or Emma, referring to his siblings. He didn't want them to experience the pain he was going through. His suffering was, in his eyes, a shield to protect his loved ones. There is a deep truth in this. Sometimes, God allows one person to endure hardship to prevent others from experiencing it. This is often seen in families where one person takes on the struggles so others can be spared. In John 15:13, Jesus says, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." This boy, even in his pain, understood the love of Christ. That love sometimes means willingly enduring suffering for the sake of others. We see this in the Bible as well. Joseph, for example, endured betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment, but his suffering ultimately saved his family and the entire nation of Egypt from famine. Genesis 50:20. God's purpose in allowing suffering is often bigger than we can see, and in some cases, our pain may be the very thing that protects or blesses those around us. 3. Our suffering is a powerful testimony. In the same interview, The boy's father asked him why he continues to smile even after everything he has been through. The boy simply replied, "Because God still makes me happy." Despite his pain, he found joy in God. And it was that joy, that unshakable smile, that helped so many others. His father remarked how his smile brought comfort to people, even in the hospital. This teaches us that God often uses our suffering as a powerful testimony to others. When people see us enduring pain with faith and joy, they are encouraged. Our trials can become the greatest witness of God's presence in our lives. As Romans 5:3-5 says, "We glory in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope." It's that hope, born out of suffering, that can inspire and uplift others. The boy's joy in the face of cancer was a testimony to everyone who saw him. It showed that God's love and peace transcend even the worst of circumstances. When we trust God through our pain, it not only strengthens us, but it also touches the hearts of those around us, leading them closer to Him. Fourth, God's plan is bigger than our understanding. One of the most difficult things to accept in life is that we don't always get to understand why God allows certain things to happen. But as the boy demonstrated in his conversation with his father, trusting God doesn't require having all the answers. He wasn't angry at God. Instead, he found peace in knowing that there was a purpose, even if he didn't fully understand it. He knew that God had chosen him for a reason, and that was enough for him to endure the pain. Isaiah 55:8-9 reminds us, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." God's plan is often beyond what we can see or comprehend. When we face suffering, it's tempting to ask, "Why me?" But like the boy with cancer, we can find peace in trusting that God's plan is good, even when it includes pain. Sometimes, the hardest trials are the ones that bring about the greatest blessings. But we can trust that He is always working for our good, even when the road is difficult. 5. Suffering can bring us closer to God. The final lesson we can learn from this boy's story is that suffering can actually bring us closer to God. Despite everything he had been through, he didn't blame God. He found comfort in Him. And this is one of the most profound purposes of suffering. It draws us nearer to our Creator. When we face hardship, we often realize just how much we need God. The boy's faith wasn't weakened by his cancer. It was strengthened. He knew that even though he was in pain, God was still good, and that gave him the strength to smile every day. As Psalm 34:18 says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Suffering has a way of stripping away the distractions of life and bringing us face to face with God. In those moments of pain, we come to understand that God is our true source of comfort, strength, and joy. The boy's story reminds us that in our darkest times, we can still find God's light, and through that light, we can continue to smile and bring hope to others. In the end, why does God choose certain people to endure hard things in life? It's because He sees their strength. He uses their pain to protect others. He creates a powerful testimony through their suffering, and He brings them closer to Himself. Like the young boy with cancer, we can find peace in knowing that God has chosen us for a purpose. Even when we don't understand, we can trust that He is working through our trials to bring about something beautiful. If you've been inspired by this story and this message, please like, share, and subscribe for more content on living out your faith in the midst of life's challenges. And remember, no matter what you're going through, God has chosen you for a reason, and He will be with you every step of the way.